Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's Dustinkreis, and I am going to be extremely rusty. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but put a fork in it, it's done. Persona 4 Golden, finally beat it. And it's like a huge weight off my shoulders. This is a long-ass game. I put it on easy, and I didn't do like any grinding in the game whatsoever, and I beat the game at 60 hours, and I know, but before anyone asks, no, I did not get the true ending. I saved Marie, got the normal ending, totally fine with it. Don't care. Done. D-U-N, done. I absolutely loved this game until about the last, 7 hours or so. And then it just kind of became a slog. So much so that I'm just happy to be done with it. But that doesn't erase the good about this game. It took me a long time to get into this, and finally it just kind of clicked. I put the game in easy mode. It made the game more of a visual novel than an RPG. So much so that I don't even really consider this an RPG. I consider it a visual novel with RPG elements. The dungeon crawling is so few and far between when you put it on the easy mode that it really does feel more like a visual novel, and I kind of really enjoyed that a bit more. But yeah, really enjoyed my time with it, really enjoyed the characters, just had a blast kind of playing it until these last couple days, and I was like, will this game ever fucking end? But yeah, another SMT game, and that's kind of the thing with SMT games. They just, for me anyway, they just don't know when to end. And looking at it and seeing that I didn't get the true ending, and fuck it, I don't care. I mean, that's how I get to the point. Like SMT 4, I don't remember like what my final clock time on that game was, but I got to the end, and then like Mike was like, "Oh, you got like the worst ending in the game," and I was like, "Well, fuck it, I'm done. I don't care." That's the problem with these SMT games. And Ultimate Floyd kind of did a video on this where he talked about the true endings in games and are they worth getting and things like that. And for me, personally, like when I face a situation like this, I just go, I'll YouTube it. I don't care, you know? So that's kind of my take on it, and that's kind of the thing with the Shin Megami Tensei series, and kind of why it's kind of hard to get into if you're not really into them like I am. I'm starting to get more into them, but you know, when you do something and you make like one, you answer one question in this game differently than you should, and it completely changes everything. It just kind of like, oh, fuck it, who cares? I'll just get what I get. But yeah, you know, at the end of the day, I have my frustrations with Persona 4, but it doesn't ruin the overall experience. I know I kind of sound a bit agitated, but that's just because I know that well, you didn't get the true ending, you need to go back and do it again, you know, that kind of stuff's coming, so just kind of that annoyance kind of getting out of there right off the bat. But anyway, really had a great time with this game. I loved the storyline, even though the story wasn't as hugely impactful, like the plot wasn't impactful, like the character. It's a very character-driven game. And I really enjoyed exploring the different characters on my team and their different social links and like the secrets that they have behind them, and it's just kind of a fun thing to go around. Kind of reminds me of like Danganronpa, going around and kind of interacting with the different people in the school and learning more about them and stuff. And that's what I found to be the greatest thing about this game, not the plot itself. The plot itself is kind of like a Scooby-Doo type mystery, kind of reminiscent of Twin Peaks and things like that. But the characters are really what stick with you after this game, not so much the plot and like what's going on. I couldn't actually tell you like what the point of the final enemy was, you know, what his ultimate goal was. I mean, it's just kind of like a bunch of, you know, anime, Japanese RPGs, like just crazy talk. But the interactions with the characters is really what sells this game for me. And if you haven't experienced the storyline in this, I highly recommend trying this out. Just know that you're in for a bit of a long game, because I was ready to be done with this around like the 45-hour mark, and I think my final clock time was a little over 60 hours. So for about 15 hours, I was ready to be done with this game. I kind of got to my stopping point with the game before the game actually ended. So that kind of frustration is there. But anyway, from a gameplay perspective, like I said, it plays a bit more like a visual novel. Most of the game, you're walking around the school, going to class, interacting with your fellow classmates, learning about them, and trying to help people around the town of Inaba through various quests. And then occasionally you go into a dungeon and fight enemies in a very traditional sort of Shin Megami Tensei battle system, where you know, weaknesses, strengths and weaknesses are your big thing. You know, you have to pay attention to the analysi, I don't know, the plural of analysis, the various enemies' weakness and strengths. And I actually found like the RPG elements of the game to be the weakest point of the game by far. It's much more interesting to go around town and interact with the other NPCs in the town and kind of learn about the town and the people who inhabit this little town. I mean, it's kind of like the town in Deadly Premonition. It kind of becomes a character in and of itself. Inaba becomes a character. And, you know, I would often find myself after class, you know, kind of fretting, do I go with this character? Do I go with this character? Do I go work on this quest? You know, what do I do? And, you know, when I got into the RPG segments, you know, I just kind of got bored, and I'd put on like a YouTube video and watch a YouTube video while I was doing these dungeon segments until the storyline kicked back in. Then I'd be okay. But that kind of brings up an interesting point about the game, and kind of games like this in general, the time management system. I kind of got frustrated because there's a lot of days where the game just won't let you do what you want to do. You know, there was times where I was like, oh, I can read a book tonight, and then I go home and like I'm forced to do like studying with, you know, oh God, what's her name? I can't remember the little girl's name, Nanako. And you're forced to study with Nanako, and it's just like, okay, this is great and this is nice, but it doesn't really do anything with the characters. You know, the social links with Nanako do a lot more to propel her character forward than these like little forced story segments for no real reason. And I could be, you know, buffing up my, you know, main character's stuff by reading a book or working or doing things like that. But, you know, it gives you enough time that if you do it reasonably well, like I maxed all the characters in my party out, I maxed some of the other characters out, and there's only a few social links. Like I think there's a couple that I just completely missed, and then there's a couple that I didn't get to in time. There's a few that you want to get to kind of sooner than later because the storyline will make it harder to get those social links, and one, it'll completely like just, you know, stop it. But yeah, you know, it gives you enough time to get what you need done to beat the game. And if I had a suggestion, you know, I would say put this game on easy and just play it for the story. I mean, the RPG segments are great. You know, they're there, but they're not the drawing point of this game. This is not a very traditional JRPG. It's a lot different. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like if you don't do that, you're just making this game kind of frustrating. Someone's going to get on here and go, oh, but the challenge, blah, blah, blah. But I just feel like, you know, with the additional grinding and taking time away from, like, the social links, which to me are the interesting part of the game, it just, you know, to add in all that grinding in the various dungeons just seems like counterintuitive for some reason. The music is absolutely awesome. Most of the tracks I really, really enjoy. There's a few that I'm not too keen on, but you know, that goes with every game. But I think Steven was talking on Facebook one day about having the heartbeat. I don't know the name of the song, but it plays like all the time when you're on the map screen, stuck in his head, and it does get stuck in your head. And luckily, I have the PlayStation 2. Where is it? It's probably right behind me. Oh, it's always so much fun when I do this. Yes, it's literally right behind me. It doesn't matter. I have the PS2 copy that has the soundtrack CD in it as well. And, you know, I was listening to that a bit while playing this, because some of the tracks, especially the one for Risei's Dungeon, what's it called? Striptease? For some reason, that track, I had my my good headphones on, and there's just something about that track that just, like, completely blew me away. But yeah, definitely good audio. The voice acting, really spot on. I really love the voice acting for Kanji, because it's Troy Baker who does the main character from BioShock Infinite, Booker. God, everything's just it's been so long since I've done one of these. Everything's slipping. But it's just funny to hear like that voice say all these crazy Kanji lines in the game. And Kanji kind of became my favorite character. Just because, you know, in the early stages of him interacting with the characters, it's always very awkward. And he kind of comes into himself by the end of it, but those early awkward moments are really a lot of fun. Then finally the graphics looks beautiful on the Vita. I don't know how much they actually upgraded the graphics from the PlayStation 2 original game for Golden, but it really does look very awesome on the Vita. And it's always... Whenever you start up your Vita for the first time after like a long period of not using it, you're always kind of amazed by how crisp that OLED screen is. I don't know how crisp the new Slims are, but on the old Vitas, this game really does pop and really does look amazing. So, yeah, I mean, Persona 4, I know a lot of people hold this in like the highest regard. It's like their favorite RPG of all time, and I can see, you know, how it does that. It's definitely a lot different from other JRPGs, and definitely a lot different from other Shin Megami Tensei games, period. I actually kind of really kind of dig the visual novel style of the game, and hopefully for Persona 5, which I'm really getting excited for the PS4, hopefully that continues as well. But anyway, yeah, I'm assuming the normal ending. And I'm totally fine with that ending. You know, if I really want to, I can just YouTube the true ending and not even worry about it. But at 60 hours, I'm pretty much done with this game. You know, I might come back to it years down the road, but for right now, like really, I really just, if I had to face like another hour of this in my Vita, I think I would really go crazy. You just get to that stopping point in a game. And, you know, I mean, it's not that it's a bad game, it's just that, you know, you get to the end before the end actually happens. That's happened with a couple other games. It kind of did happen it's happened a lot with Shin Megami Tensei games. Let's just put it that way. They tend to overstay their welcome a little bit for my taste. But definitely a good one. If you have a Vita, there's no excuse not to have this in your collection, because it's just, I mean, it's that good of a game. It's really something different. I like... the different things they try in this. You know, it's not just your straight up JRPG. It's a lot different, and it's definitely worth a shot. So if you haven't tried Persona 4 Golden on the Vita, or play the original on the PS2, I think maybe you can download it on PSN. I don't really know. Since I have this, I didn't really care. But definitely try it out and give it a shot, because it is a great game. And now I'm looking forward to playing Persona 3 eventually. I don't really want to touch an SMT game for a while. I guess we'll see what the next game I play is, because I have a game burning a hole on my shelf here, and then this bad boy just came in yesterday, and it's also burning a hole on my shelf. So who knows what I'll actually play. But anyway, that's it for this video. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.